Recruiting code of ethics. Do you have them? Are you this great recruiter? Check out this video right now. I will tell you mine. Hey, welcome to the Millionaire Recruiter. I'm Brandon Rooney, your Millionaire Recruiter. If you have not seen this channel before, yep, you guessed it. It's all about upping your game in the recruiting industry and becoming the next Millionaire Recruiter. Hello. Well, guess what? You can't become the next Millionaire Recruiter if you don't live by code of ethics. So we need to have standards. You have to be trained appropriately, diversity. And you have to stand for something. You know, I know that a lot of people that are getting into the industry are like, I like to help people. Like they all say the same thing. Do they all mean it? I'm not sure. But here's the code of ethics. If you mean it, this is how you walk the walk, talk the talk. First thing first, transparency. I talk about that so much. Well, Taylor and I talk about that so much on the podcast, Talent Takeover Unfiltered. If you haven't checked that out, that's the shit. But check that out for sure. Transparency. This is how you do things correctly. Then I have honesty. And honesty and transparency, you could be like, that's pretty damn similar. But I don't think so, which is why I wanted to make sure that they were both on there. Transparency to me is, let's give an example. You're talking to a candidate, you already know that they have an offer, but you still want the candidate to talk to the hiring manager. Lots of other recruiters wouldn't even tell the candidate that they have an offer out. They would just get them to do it and waste their time. Me as a recruiter, I'm going to say, hey, so-and-so, I just want to let you know that Google has an offer out for this role. It may or may not close. It's very honestly looking pretty good. However, I want you to still get in there because I know you're really interested. Worst case scenario, that person accepts the offer, but then they already have your information. You've already made a connection with the hiring manager and you don't know when they're going to open this role again. It's probably going to be pretty soon. So that was transparency and honesty wrapped into one. And that's important. Something that I really want you guys to know is a commitment to the craft of recruiting and to constantly be learning. So this is a craft. There's lots of people, including someone I remember and I'll never forget, said a monkey could do our job. Infuriating. They're putting tons of AI, tons of bots to do our job. That's infuriating. I only like the stuff that helps us do our job. This is a craft. This is a human business. This is a connection. This is getting the word out. A candidate cannot accept a place that they don't know about, which is you, the recruiter, which is why we hunt. We find the right people, we find the right fits, and all those things. I will not tangent, I promise, but I feel very strongly that recruiting is a craft. There is a science to this. In order to do it really well, there's a science. So, in order to continue to do this well, you have to constantly be learning. I will tell you, I have learned a significant amount just in the last year and a half because of how the market has changed significantly. And if I wasn't paying attention, if I wasn't reading every day, like the stuff that comes into my inbox that I subscribe to, like CV Insights or Morning Brew, then I wouldn't know about all the different things. I wouldn't know. And I try all the different bots just in case there's something really cool that I need to grab, you know? So commitment to the craft, learn, learn, learn. So if you are finding these tips useful, definitely make sure, point right here, baby, and subscribe. You're definitely going to find other videos just like this. So let's continue. Another code of ethics is dedicated to inclusive sourcing. So I know we talk about diversity sourcing. I'm taking it a little step further and I'm going to do inclusive sourcing. And I'm going to say that you're going to want to be dedicated to it because here's the bottom line. Depending on if you're internal or external, recruiting in general seems to be that gray area for companies that they think they could tell us to essentially break rules. And lots of times we do it because we are that gray area. And this is where we have to know that I am an inclusive sourcer because I know that's the right thing to do. Not because the company over here told me to, not because my company said I had to reach out to 35% of URM candidates. No, it's because I'm dedicated to being an inclusive sourcer because I know that's right. And I know that that moves the needle for companies, period. Ooh, that got me excited. Okay, another thing is confidentiality. We are like, well, I always say that we're career therapists. Do you need a PhD to do this? I haven't found one. But confidentiality is massive. Not only are you doing searches sometimes that aren't posted because the person's still working there, that's important to be confidentiality, but you're also working on some startups. So I know I have where I've like signed NDAs actually. Like they have an idea that they don't want to get out there. Not to mention, you've got tons of passive candidates that you're trying to place and they don't want their manager to know that they're looking. I don't want to do a backdoor reference on them because again, someone doesn't know that they're looking. They're not advertising it. Now, if there's they have that ugly green open to work on their picture, sure. Could you maybe talk about it a little bit more? Yes, you can. But you're not gonna, let's say, you're not going to call Twitter or this candidate Twitter and say, hey, I know your colleague's looking. Ben, I know Ben, your colleague's looking. So I think you should really start looking. Like, be careful. You might laugh and you might have even done it back in the day, but not okay. Live by these code of ethics and confidentiality, please. Now, this one I'm going to hit you just in like one line because it's being caring, considerate, and respectful. All kind of similar, but all kind of mean the same things. You need to be, again, respectful to the industry in general, to all of your colleagues, to your candidates. You also have to be very considerate and caring to candidates' feelings and actually even hiring managers. I think that there's this fight between hiring managers and recruiters. You're like, oh, but again, you have to make sure that you're always living by that code of ethic because you don't know what they're going through. Here's on the flip side, the hiring managers, they're ghosting you. They're giving you short answers. Well, guess what? They're trying to be a recruiter kind of and do their role and be in charge of their team. It's kind of a lot of work, right? On the flip side with candidates, their livelihood exists on these interviews, on negotiating with you, on they're nervous. I mean, think about how nervous you are when you've been in an interview. They're going through that. They don't know when they're going to get a job or they're getting passed on, so you definitely want to be considerate, when you are taking them through the experience and definitely please when you are having to turn them down. Here's what sucks as a recruiter. And again, I try not to tangent, but there are some companies that refuse to give candidates feedback. You as a recruiter, I know sometimes your hands are tied and you can't. So this is really that moment where you got to be as considerate as possible and share as much as you absolutely can. Okay. And last but not least, I added it at the last moment, honestly, because of this podcast I did the other day where I was like, that's a good one, is recruiting code of ethics, be an adult. Be a professional, be an adult, show up the way that you're supposed to show up, okay? We're not children. This is still a job. I know it gets emotional. I know we have feelings and all of that stuff, but learn how to control your emotions and still do your job and still communicate and show up as an adult. All right. So definitely share your thoughts below. Let's please make this a conversation because what I want to do is when I was thinking of the recruiting code of ethics, I'm like, I think this needs to be like the 10 commandments, like put this on like a board and just keep it up and let's just all sign this shit. Okay. So please comment below. I'm going to sort this all out and see what else needs to be added. Thanks so much. I will see you every Thursday at noon. And don't forget that money is just a vessel to do all the amazing things you want to go do in life. Go live it. See you then.